A question is anything we write or say which requires a response. In writing, questions are usually followed by a question mark. There are two main ways to ask for information: using auxiliar or using WH words. Auxiliars, auxiliary verbs, or helping verbs, are used with main verbs to form questions, tenses, negatives, and expressions of ability or possibility. The use of auxiliars has the following structure: auxiliary, modal verb, aux almod, plus subject, s, plus main verb, v plus x. There are different auxiliaries, such as do or does. These are used to form questions in the present simple tense about habits, facts, or general information. Which one do you think is the correct form of using do? The structure is do, does, plus subject plus base verb plus object. You can use it in some cases like, do you have any allergies to medications? Do you take any over-the-counter medications regularly? Do you feel any side effects from your medication? Do you have a preferred pharmacy for prescriptions?
Another auxiliar can be is for singular or are for plural. They are used to form questions in the present continuous tense or about states or conditions. Which one do you think is the correct form of using are? The structure is are plus subject plus complement or verb in continuous form. Some examples are you currently taking any prescription medication? Is there any medication that you find difficult to take? Are you experiencing any discomfort or pain with your current treatment? Is this your first visit to the pharmacy for a prescription?
We also can talk about can. It is used to ask about ability, permission, or possibilities. Which one do you think is the correct form of using can? The structure is can plus subject plus base verb plus object. Examples: can you describe any symptoms you've experienced since starting your medication? Can I help you find an alternative medication if you are having trouble with side effects? Can you take your medication at the same time each day? Can you read the instructions on the medication label?
Next, let's talk about have. Used to ask about possession or experiences in the present perfect tense. Which one do you think is the correct form of using have? The structure is have for first, second person, and for plural, or has for third person. It means she, he, or it, plus subject, plus verb in past participle. Examples: have you ever had a reaction to a medication in the past? Have you been prescribed any medications for chronic conditions? Have you been taking any herbal supplements recently? Have you ever had trouble remembering to take your medication? In the other hand, WH questions are questions that begin with a question word containing WH, except for how, and are used to gather specific information. These questions cannot be answered with yes or no, and are ideal to use with patients as it allows open-ended questions. This is the general structure of WH questions: WH word period, plus auxiliary verb, plus subject, plus main verb, plus complement. Example: what do you do for work? Let's see the different WH questions.
What? It is used to ask for information about things, objects, or activities. Examples: what medications are you currently taking? What do you take this medicine for? What side effects have you experienced from your current treatment? What time of day do you usually take your medication? Where? It is used to ask about location or place. Examples: where do you usually store your medication at home? Where do you feel the most discomfort or pain related to your condition? Where did you fill your prescription last time? Where do you get most of your health information?
When?
Used to ask about time, past, present, or future. Examples. When did you start taking this medication? When do you usually take your prescribed medication? When did you last visit your doctor or healthcare provider? When did you first notice any changes in your health after starting the treatment?
Who?
Used to ask about a person, subject or object of the sentence. Examples. Who is your primary healthcare provider or doctor? Who prescribed the medication you're currently taking? Who usually helps you with your medication regimen at home? Who do you usually consult when you have questions about your medication?
Why? Used to ask about reason or purpose. Examples. Why is this medication important? Why do you think your medication is not working as expected? Why do you think you're experiencing side effects from your treatment? How? Used to ask about manners, conditions, or degrees. Examples. How often do you take your medication? How do you usually feel after taking your medication? How do you manage side effects from your treatment?
These key questions are essential for conducting a pharmaceutical interview. WH questions are mostly preferred in pharmacy practice since they lead to open-ended questions that can capture more information and be less biased.